It's real. It's real, kids. We're really here. I'm waiting for the buttons to turn on. Come on, LinkedIn. There's the button. And I think we is live. Yes, that's right. That is grammatically correct. We is live. Hey, miss me? Miss us? Last week, we didn't do an employer brand breakdown. Things happened. Life happens. You know how it is. Just Jeff Goldblum would say, life will find a way. And so here we are. Welcome again, my favorite co-host so far. I'm sorry, Blake. I didn't say that. I didn't say that loud. This is the one and only Tracey Parsons. How you doing, Tracey?
I am, I'm good. I'm a little overwhelmed, but I'm good.
Right up there.
Well, and I was on the red eye, not last night, the night before. So, and I don't sleep on planes. It's not my area of expertise. So last night I was out cold at 8:00. I woke up this morning at 8:00 in the morning. I was like, well, that might've fixed it a little.
Well, good. I'm glad you're caught up. We're going to talk about what I would think is the hottest tech brand right now. I know for the longest time was the Goog, Uncle Goog, but not anymore. Google's having some issues. And so this year it looks like, I'm sure Universum will at some point put out the data that says, yes, that's probably pretty true. But right now, I think it's OpenAI. I think they are the hottest tech brand. They are the company that most people in tech want to work for, or at least are excited to hear more about. And that's what we're going to break down today. But before we do that, before we get to the super complicated AI stuff that I don't understand, but I still know how to use, Tracey, I have a question. What do you know about this Flockety company?
Thanks for asking, James. So we may have been off last week because I was in the process of launching a new product to the universe, which is called Flockety. Flockety is influencer marketing meets recruitment marketing. So we are trying to disrupt the recruitment advertising, recruitment marketing space by making job distribution more democratic, right? So that's what Flockety is. That's what we're doing. We just went out of stealth beta maybe a week and a half ago. And the reception is amazing. We got some shout outs from the stage at TA Week. So I want to thank Chloe Rada and Carrie Corbin and Craig Fisher for sharing that love. But yeah, it's truly what we're seeing is if your jobs need traffic that you cannot get anywhere else, you need Flockety.
Yeah. I love that the idea it's predicated on, let's not interrupt people. Let's not shout louder. Let's figure out who do you trust and let's get them looped into this conversation. I absolutely love it. So I can't wait to kind of get more involved with it, but I trust Tracey products so much. So it's like, I can't wait to get my hands in it. So check out, what's the URL?
www.flockety, FLOCKITY.com.
There you go.
Let's flock and go, people.
Let's flock and go. Let's make it happen. On my side of the world, do me a favor, check out employerbrand.ing. It's where I put all my resources, and it's where I'm going to keep putting all my resources as I go. Most of them are free. Podcasts, videos, ebooks, all that sort of. Occasionally there'll be something that I'm going to charge a pittance for, but mostly it's free. Also, next week, officially February 6th, my new podcast thing is coming out live. Not live. What am I saying? This is live. That is a podcast. They're different, James. And this is how my head works. And now you understand why I can't stop. The first episode of The Definition of Insanity goes live February 6th with Alex M.H. Smith, who is a strategist. Don't let that title fool you. The conversation was unreal good. Unreal good. So you'll be able to check it out on any podcast platform you get, as well as YouTube. We record the whole thing on video. It's worth watching all the way through if you don't want to do the podcast thing. Anyway, that is the defense.
And you said February 6th.
Yep.
So everybody get your work calendar out.
Yep.
And block off some time to listen to that, because that's what I've already done. So I'm really excited to listen to it, James. Thanks for contributing to the conversation in the way that you do. That's so thoughtful.
The episode's coming after that. Jasmine Bina, who is going to talk about identity, which is really interesting. Ooh. And the one I was waiting for the most, Rory Sutherland. If you haven't read the book, Alchemy, you should. Absolutely. It's like, to me, I think the audiobook is like that perfect book of, I have to be in a car ride with strangers I don't know. good luck picking music. Good luck picking an audiobook. This is the audiobook you pick because everybody will be like, that's really interesting as they're driving or listening or doing whatever it is. He is just an insanely smart guy. So check out the definition of insanity.show or wherever you get your podcast.
Love it.
Enough of this. Let's get to the real stuff. Let's talk let's talk about what we're here to talk about. And that is OpenAI. Where is the button that lets me share my screen? It is right there. And I'm going to find it there. Okay. So OpenAI, who doesn't know about OpenAI? I mean, who indeed? Aside from the fact that a year ago, ChatGPT was dropped like a meteor onto planet Earth, and we all kind of freak or geek out, and then we started getting excited, and then we got freaked out again, and it kind of seems to me like it's oscillating back and forth between freakiness and excitedness and back and forth. But hey, what happens when you're suddenly the new hotness? What happens when you're the most exciting tech company in the world? What happens when anybody who's anybody thinks they want to work for you? What do you do with that? And that's what we're going to talk about today in the breakdown. As a reminder, we're not here to poke fun. We're not here to tease anybody. We're not here to diss anybody. We are here to say what we like and what we think could be done better. That's really our focus. And I'm thrilled Tracey is here with me to do this. So Tracey, I'm going to let you kind of take the stick and get us started. What's your first take on the career site?
Well, so when you told me that we were doing this week, I was like, oh, that's interesting. So when I first went to the site, I was actually bringing a bot bias, right? Oh. I was really expecting this to feel like it was written by a bot. And in some places it looks like it may have been, or maybe it's not, right? But I did take that bias into the review, which was really interesting. But there were many times when I was expecting it to be more body. That was my first impression, right? Join us in shaping the future of technology, developing safe and beneficial. I like the number of times they're talking about safe and beneficial like, I like that they're really putting that forward that, hey, don't worry, guys. This isn't a Terminator situation.
We're not 4 kids in a basement playing with neutron bombs. Don't mind us. We're actually
fine.
Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, we're a wide audience of people from different backgrounds and different experiences, all trying to serve the same idea. Please don't blow up the world. Anyway, moving on.
So when I was like, again, I was pleasantly surprised in many areas. I also I was a little jarred by the pink and green, which is funny because I love pink and green.
It's very in fashion website wise, which to me is surprising because career sites take forever to build and to gestate and to get escape from the world, that you never think of them as fashionable because fashion trends have left. And this is kind of on trend right now.
Yeah. Right. And not just that pink and green, but any pink and green, it's that one. Right. So it's really on trend. So it drew me in even more because I was like, well, that is a really interesting color palette to choose.
Totally.
Which is funny because when I use ChatGPT, I don't see that color palette. So at the same time, I was like, oh, okay. Right. Let's see what this is.
Yeah. It doesn't feel connected to the larger corporate brand or anything else they're doing. Yeah. It's nice. I like it. But at the same time, it's interesting. The visual brand is disconnected from corporate, but this message about safe and beneficial, very connected to corporate. So it's interesting where they're making their choices.
100%. And you don't have to watch the video, but I'm going to tell you guys to watch the video, right? So right there, it says play video.
All right, I'm going to ask you this.
Go ahead.
In one word, what is the one word you would describe that video?
Long.
Oh, interesting. It was long. I give you that. I would have gone with self-serious.
Okay. Yes. It really was.
Nobody smiles, nobody laughs in the video. They're all they're all kind of like, we are going to the moon. It's like if I took a video camera to a monastery and said, tell me about why you're copying the text from this book to this book. They said, I am doing it because God has told me that this is what we are going. Like that was the tone, which really threw me.
It did throw me. And the music threw me.
Yeah, Brian, they pay Brian Eno money for that one because it is very much music for airports. It is very much that super ambient, super slow rise and could be made by robots. And let's be fair, probably was.
Could have been. But at the same time, like they did some things in that video that I found thoughtful and intentional.
Agree.
All of it was probably thoughtful and intentional, but the music was ambient. But they were really clear to show the collaboration,
Yes.
that you are there all the time because they're eating foods together. Uh, that they're, you know what I mean? Like it was very clear that you are going to be here and you are going to work hard. And then when I went down and read their values,
Mm-hmm.
that intense and scrappy
I called that out too.
video. Like
Yeah.
those folks are some intense ass people.
Yeah. It's like, maybe they have a different definition of the word scrappy because it ain't this. It isn't what I saw. There's no, hey, we didn't have a desk, so we put two sawhorses in a door together. There wasn't a, here's some duct tape, make it happen. Since that's what I think of when I think of scrappy. This is
Correct.
mission oriented, calling. This is to a higher power, this higher thing we're building and manifesting together. Intense, absolutely. Scrappy, not so much.
Yeah. And then I felt like a dummy because I had to look up what AGI was.
There's that. Yeah.
I mean, I know GAI, right? I know AI was like, why is the G in the middle?
Yeah.
So I had to look that up, but that's good. Again, that was a screen out moment, right? So this isn't for me because I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of screen out moments, so okay.
Yeah.
Now I get, and as we scroll down, I started to see clues that this site is not exactly brand spanking new. Here we go. These are from December of 2002. So this predates the chaos of the fall and the firing and then the not so firing and all the stuff that it was in the news. To me, if you're the new hotness, if you're the company everybody wants to work for, it felt very much like, why aren't they pushing harder on screening people out? It felt very, we're open and we're welcoming and we're fine. And it just, we'll talk about those pictures in a minute. I have a line for that picture. But it didn't feel very screeny outy. It didn't feel very exclusive. It didn't feel very elite. It felt very like, we're doing this thing. And if you want to be here, you should be here. But it feels like this should be filtering out better.
Yeah. And it's not telling me, like, again, if they're intense, which they are.
Yeah.
Right. And I got that from the video. I get it nowhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
I think these photos feel like if I had to envision what they were thinking when they took those photos, the thought process in their head was, when I get my New Yorker profile in 10 years, this is the moment I will be speaking of. Like there's that sense of self-importance and awareness that we are doing this amazing thing. And look at me with gazing in the distance like a J. Crew catalog, looking into the distant horizon, or look at me, I'm casual by tucking my leg in, but really I'm changing the world. Like this feels we all know how important this is.
So I want to talk you off that ledge because let's be fair. Y'all know I'm married to a software engineer. Okay. So if you're trying to get Steve Parsons in a photo on your website, you're going to these folks are actually doing something important, and getting them on your employer brand site is going to be hard.
Yep.
So yes. And what they are doing is important.
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't take away the self-importance from that. I took away, like, I have a whole fucking job and now I need to write a blog post about my whole fucking job, and you're going to take a picture of me. And I'm like,
okay,
dude, don't.
That I buy. Okay. That makes sense.
I also love that there's a lot of diversity.
Absolutely.
But I also found their people to be really, really attractive.
Yes.
So to the point where I was like, are these stock or are these their people? Which is totally fine. But they're all damn cute, and I love that for them. But I did have a question, like, is that really their employee? Like even the video, like I was like, that is a lot of lovely people in one building.
Yeah, it's like every time I work at a company and I do video work and it turns out they have a branch in Australia, the Australian branch always looks like it's staffed by a soap opera modeling company. Like, I get it, y'all build the Hemsworths and all, but apparently they were the normal for you. You weren't like, they weren't amazingly gorgeous. That everybody in Australia is kind of just like that level of painfully hot. So maybe, that I had that same kind of vibe. Like, they are just all attractive.
Yes. Right, which is great. I mean, good for you.
Yeah, good. It
And I'm
helps.
not saying like that makes it impossible, but I just there was like a wow,
Yeah.
these could have been stock, right? So
Yep.
that's one of the things that I'm always like, if you're running employer brands, um, and you're taking photos in your office, just make sure that it's your office and that it's not perfect all the time. Like
Yeah.
there, I don't mind messy coffee cups in the background. I don't mind messy desks in the background. It shows me that this is actually your workplace.
Yeah.
So just try to take that realness
Yeah.
into your employer brands.
Yeah, and this is a joke, and it's also not. It almost looks like you asked DALL-E to create photos of nerdy, smart people in a San Francisco office. Go. Yeah, I mean, yeah, hey, on point, good for you. But it's at the same time, it's like, yeah, what is it? What is it telling us?
Yeah. But I did love, again, going back to the diversity, and they do hammer on
They
diversity
do.
throughout this site, and they show diversity, which makes me happy because look, one of the scariest pieces of AI is who's writing it. And how, look, you can't do anything. And like I had bias coming into this because I
Yeah,
was, reviewing this. Bias is unfortunately baked into the human psyche, and we need a lot of people with a lot of lived experiences
mhm.
training the robots on how to think. So I'm glad that they've really doubled down on that throughout this site.
Yeah,
I wanted to see more, but
yeah,
I love that this is really obviously important to them.
yeah. This is the entirety of their DEI page. It is 3 paragraphs, and what we believe. It's good. It could be more. It
But
could be.
if you scroll down, I think there's a picture at the bottom where they talk about, oh, scroll up, sorry.
Yeah,
Oh no, this is their DEI page. My
yeah,
apologies.
yeah,
Because they do, but that was one of the things that I thought was written by robots.
yeah. I mean, yeah, this language is not great. There are other pieces that I highlight. I'm like, ooh, that's a really nice. Like, let me go find. There was a line that I was like, I like what they're saying there. I'm never going to find it now that I'm looking. I will say, I like that they describe their benefits in terms of how it's helping them get things done. I feel like anytime you can connect, benefits aren't this thing you just kind of hand out like Halloween candy to kids to just shut them up. It is, hey, it's part of a larger strategy to maximize our output, to maximize our impact. I love that. Oh, I loved nothing is someone else's problem. Like to
I do love
me,
that.
I was like, that was a bit of a pitter pat right here. I was like, that's a great way to put the stuff that you normally hear in lots of boring ways. I liked how they put that. So, yeah,
Well, and while you're on that like section of the page,
yeah,
this is not alone to OpenAI. This is every career site I visit.
yep,
It tells me what the
hmm,
words are of your core values. And I've played bullshit bingo on core values for 10 years now.
yeah,
And there are 9 core values that are shared among the Fortune 500. I've done the math, I've done the research. There are 9 of them. There is one that is shared with the 9 on this screen.
yeah,
What my challenge is with all core values sections is they don't tell me what that actually means
yeah.
and how it manifests itself in their company.
What the edges are, what the limits are, how it serves them, how it drives them, how it's strategically imperative, the blah, 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 blah. It's just these could be, I'm not saying they are, they could be poster fodder, just nice things you put on a
Right.
poster so you can stick it on a wall and never think about them again. They might be completely embodied, but we just don't see it. And that's the challenge.
Well, and give me the story, give me the example, right? I would like to see, instead of words on core values, I want to see a little, take a snackable piece of that really long video
Yep.
and put that here to talk about scale or making something people love or team
Yep.
spirit. There's B-roll from that video clearly that can explain to me what scale means
Yep.
as an employee of
Yep.
OpenAI. Give me the story and the examples. Give me a video, give me a blog, show me the culture in action,
Yep.
and word salad. It's word
And
salad.
and given that I don't think that's how you describe Scrappy, that's
Right.
that's the friction. That's the thing you're trying to
Right.
solve. And I think this is the perfect place where I would want, where is it? Rough camera video, rough phone video, real just, hey, this is what I think, stitched two together. Boom, that's AGI focus. Boom, that's intense and scrappy. What does it mean? What does it mean to you? That would be a perfect place. And I think to me, and I've had this conversation with other people and other TA leaders and other creative directors. And is it the sense of we have to be all authentic? So it's all rough. It's all people having fun or all people kind of struggling, or is it all polished? And the answer I think ultimately is provide a mix. Provide a mix. Show me the thoughtful, slightly staged, well polished, intentional photo. Now show me, hey, this is what actually happened. This is the stuff that, oh, there's a lipstick stain on that coffee cup that you see in the distance. It's okay. That's just life in the big city here, right? The mixture shows me you're not hiding. That, I think, to me, that's the proper mix.
Right. Right. And if you do go up to the benefits, I do want to call this out, or down to the benefits.
Yeah.
I don't care about your foosball table, but if you've got fresh baked cookies, I will be there every day. Like there was something so charming about that, just that little check mark area. I was like, okay, that is adorable.
Yep.
And differentiated, because as somebody that bakes cookies all the time, if you had cookies in my office, and I usually do, oh, I'm there. Who doesn't love cookies?
Yeah. Yeah. It's different. That's the trick. It's finding that tiny little, and I think that's the thing. People get stuck with strategy and brand. What is this big idea that we must embody? Like, no, sometimes it's just, oh, my video just died. Sometimes it's just the tiny things. Sometimes it's just the little things of this is what we mean. And this is how it manifests. And this is how it pops up. It's okay.
And there's a comfort to that specific example.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're talking about taking care of somebody's well-being, you should watch somebody's face when you give them cookies.
Yep. Totally.
It's a game changer. So kudos to the cookies.
All right. So let's look at a job.
Yeah. Well, let's just scroll down just a smidge and look at the featured jobs. I thought it was hilarious that they're
lawyer.
A lot of lawyers.
Ollie Oxenfree, the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and AI, was very much want to talk to you. And a recruiter. Which
was really funny.
Always funny to see a recruiter.
I did look at the user operations generalist role. I loved that they left the OpenAI at the bottom. I like that they talk about the team.
Yep.
Right. I like that they look, if you're going to open with yourself, open with the team.
Especially if it's a well-known company. Nobody has to describe who this company is. Jump to the stuff that matters. Love that.
Yep. So I like that I love that they opened with the team. It would be even better if it was accompanied with a short video by somebody on the team, right? Yep. This is the work that we do, or examples of the impact that they have, right? That would be really cool.
I think, and this is a bigger conversation, but hey, what else are we here for? I think job boards of the world watching this video as we speak. Hi, thanks for showing up. This is what you got to do. Stop stripping out HTML. Just stop it. If I embed a video in this and I stream it out to pick a job board, they're all the darn same. You're stripping out the video, and it tells recruiters, it tells recruitment managers, it tells TA leaders, you shouldn't put video there. You're like, yeah, you absolutely should. It's the job board's fault for screwing this up. The right way to tell that story is that is exactly where you put a video. Job boards, get on board, play the game or get out.
Please.
Yeah.
I did take exception to dedicated, experienced, and passionate. Like when you're writing
the word salad.
It's not necessarily word salad, but
stringing them along, string, like you're stringing cranberries on a line.
Nobody's going to say that they're looking for this job and they're doing this kind of job that they're not dedicated, experienced, and passionate. You are doing nothing to screen out. Yep. And those are obviously characteristics, right? That demonstrate something. But what I want you all to start doing is think about the stories in your head that mean dedicated, experienced, and passionate.
Yeah.
Right. Tell me what those stories are, so that when somebody reads it, they say, yep, that's me. So you're looking to screen people out.
Yep.
Right. I remember years ago, I had at the time it was the sexy company like OpenAI. They came to me they're like, I like your recommendations, but like we get so many unqualified people. And I was like, well, let's look at your website. And I was like, well, do you know that you're, leading with come change the world with us? And they're like, yeah, that's what you'll do here. And I was like, cool. But what you've essentially said is, if you think this place is a fixer upper, come on with us. And you don't tell me what that means. You don't
Yep.
tell me what it means to change the world. So in this story, I said, you don't have a brand problem. You have an education problem.
Yep.
You're not educating your audience on what your brand means.
Yeah.
So when you talk about dedicated, experienced, and passionate, does dedicated mean you are going to be here until you solve the fucking problem?
Well, I mean, they do pay for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So yes.
Right? So tell me what dedicated means. I remember when I was rewriting job descriptions for a customer or a company that I was working with, and I said, and I think it was around implementations and understanding the tech. And I think we wrote a line, it was like, are you the person that everybody comes to when they need a problem solved?
Yeah.
That is so different than dedicated, experience, and passion.
100%. 100%. Yeah, there's so many better ways.
In that lens.
Yeah, there's so many better ways to write. And I love that you're calling out, if you flip the words, if you get the opposite, is it something that would ever filter anybody out? No,
Right.
Therefore it's garbage. Stop doing stuff like that. These are generically, inherently positive things. You're like, yeah, hey, do you like money? Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I'll take that. And cookies. I was like, that's not telling anybody this is not a place to be here. And again, back to, if you are so in demand, this is the place where you put a big old hand that says, whoa, 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 whoa. This is what it's really like, not because you're terrified of scaring people off, but because you want the people who join to know exactly what they're getting into, because you don't have a funnel problem. What you have is a middle of the funnel problem where there's just jam packed, and good luck figuring out who's to talk to.
Right. And it's okay. Like, y'all, it's okay if your team is working breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks at the same place. That's okay. Talk about it. Right. And it's okay. Like, this week, I was on the road talking about the business, and I didn't see my family. And right. So there's like, if that's the job, tell them that's the job.
Yeah.
But tell them what the higher purpose is. Right. So everywhere's got a right place for them. You're not going to scare anybody off. You're going to actually get to the right people.
I think we actually stopped recording when I flipped my video.
Oh, no.
Hold on, everybody. Hey, if anybody's watching, can you tell me that it's still live? Because we did cover some good stuff. It's hard to say. Yeah, my Riverside says we stopped recording, and it says, do you want to start recording again?
Okay, well, maybe we should.
Let's do that. I have no idea where we will. Let's just jump to the top of the job posting.
Okay.
No, recording is already in progress. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
All right. We are having fun with technology.
We are. If only someone could solve that. Hold on. Oh, we are live. Thank you, Audra. Hey, Audra. Also fresh from San Diego. How you doing, Audra? All right, let's wrap this.
Still fresh because she has all the energy in the world. Love you, Audra.
She's young. She's so young. Spry.
It's not an age thing. I think there's just she has different body chemistry than me. I'm almost dead.
Well, she's a rock star. She gets to do these things differently. All right.
So
go ahead.
And I also love that they told me about the team. They have the salary range. I do want video. Like, how does the real work relate to the job?
Yep.
There was a lot in there that was winning, and there's a lot that I just would have been even better if.
Yep. It's good. It just could be better. Just reinforcing those things. Be specific, be tighter on what you're looking for. Don't try and attract everybody. Attract the exact right person.
Yeah.
Katrina Kimmons talks about how a good job posting should start with, what is the thing you did in the last job that's going to prepare you for this job? And I think those kinds of questions change perspective to make job posting stand out. It's not about gorgeous copywriting, though that never hurts. It's about presenting yourself a little more honestly and openly and like a human being, and not like some piece of software wrote it. And of course, the irony here is deep, is intense and real, and gotcha. But the more you show the humanness, the more you say, I understand, and we're not looking for everybody. We don't want 1,000 people to apply. Yeah. How would you write this and to say, I only want 5 people to apply? How would you write that differently? Because you are in a position where you could absolutely get away with that. In fact, you should. It serves the rest of the company.
It does. It does. Can you scroll down for a minute? I wasn't. Yeah. I might have missed something. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted them to have a talent community form.
Okay.
I wanted them to have some sort of opt-in because they had that on LinkedIn.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. I haven't seen a talent community worth joining. Not one. Not yet. That where communities are really a community where people can talk to one another, where it isn't just a code word for get spammed by the company when they think, when they think of it once every quarter and they go, oh crap, we haven't spammed anybody lately. That is 99.99999. And I think there's a rounding issue there. I think it is 100% of all communities. I have yet to see a good one. And until we see a good one, I'm going to say any suggestion of, hey, they should add a community. I don't know.
You and I should have a separate conversation on this because I have some examples, but I don't know if they're doing what
Fair
we
enough.
recommended.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. One thing I want to point out, the design. If you're a designer and you know what the term grid-based design is, this is your dream. This site is so grid focused, and it's the whole site.
Yeah.
Look at this kind of 2-column model. It's really clear up here. If you go to, where's one of the sections? Yeah, like the interview guide.
Yep.
Boom, splits in these grid. It's such, in fact, if you go to the homepage, with the exception of this image right here, there's not a single curve on this, types. The G and the type, like everything else is a straight line. There is a teeny tiny little curve on that button. It's like a 4-point gradient right there in a radius, but it's nothing. It is very cut and dry and rigid and structured, and there's good and there's bad in that. But I think it's so embracing it. I think it's a design approach. If you're not a designer, this is what you should look at to say, this is a different way of designing and laying things out.
Well, and it's also super intentional.
Yes.
Right? So that's the other thing. Your website layout should be incredibly intentional.
Yeah.
This is an organization that thinks like this, right? Like it tells you about the organization, how they've designed it. There is a place for everything on this site, but it goes in its place.
Yep.
You need to code like that. You need to lawyer like that. You need to, it's a cultural thing.
This is not a site that has a junk drawer. And I almost always have a junk drawer, right? There's always room for just that bit of string and that battery. You're not sure where it goes. There's a junk drawer and this is done.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Any last notes before we wrap this up there, Tracey?
That was all I had. We got through the list.
Same thing. All right. This has been a great one. Hopefully the recording happened and I won't have to wrangle the recording down the road to show it later, because I do find that the recordings are a little better resolution and that they're nice to play with, but whatever. Hope you got something out of this. Tracey, will we be seeing you next week for another breakdown, or is Flockity flying away?
I don't even know what the date is next week. So yes, let's put it on the calendar for the 9th. The 16th is the day before my birthday. So my people are taking me away for a birthday.
Perfect. So. And I have some people lined up for other, just to kind of fill the Tracey gap, so to speak. So we'll figure out, if you have an idea for what company you'd like us to look at next week, you got to holler at me. You got to let me know so that I can tell Tracey what to look at and we can talk about it next Friday. All right. With that, flockity.com, FLOCKITY.com, employerbrand.ing, employerbrand.ing. Do it. There we go. That's a call to action if ever I heard one. All right, everybody. Thank you, Tracey, for being here. So appreciate you doing this.
Absolutely.
All right. And we'll see everybody next week. Bye-bye.